Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Probably next year I would speak later or before the nice evening at the Wiesn. But I'm happy that some of you find the way to us. So what are we talking about? Looking back over the last 10 years, the time scale when all these books have been published, a lot has changed. Many habits changed significantly, all driven by one engine, the internet. The internet changed the way we see the world, the way we learn, the way we do business, even the way we think. Most significantly, the internet changed the way we communicate. This chart shows an up-to-date picture of the worldwide traffic on Facebook only. Everyday communication has become global. It connects people across oceans, continents, and cultural areas. And even if the so-called developed countries have the biggest share of the global digital communication, the network also spans middle-income countries and the developing world. And after decades of chaotic growth, the internet is ready for the next step. As you all know, that's why you're here, the top-level domain program. The new top-level domains will open spaces for unique identities on the web. This will happen for industry, for trademarks, for cities, and for regions with a strong emotional identity. And this is where we want to come in. In combining one of the biggest problems on the globe with the possibilities of a new top-level domain, we want to create a social identity space on the internet. The top-level domain .hiv aims to be a virtual space dedicated to the fight against HIV on the web. With this domain ending, we want to establish the red ribbon of the digital age, and here's how it works.
As the world's population grows ever larger, so also does the list of problems it has to face. There is one problem that is growing exceptionally fast: HIV. Currently, 35 million people are infected with the virus, and the disease it can lead to, AIDS, remains deadly and kills more than 2 million people a year. But there's another number that's growing, a number that's far larger and far more powerful. It's also growing a lot faster: the number of people using the internet. The combined power of the world's internet users is enough to beat HIV. We are going to use this power. The idea, .hiv. Here's how it works. More than 2 billion people visit hundreds of millions of different websites every single day. Google, Wikipedia, Facebook, YouTube. Many of these internet addresses have the suffix .com, but soon there could be another suffix, .hiv. This means that alongside google.com, there could also be google.hiv. And whilst the content of the site remains the same, you'll be doing something good by using google.hiv. Because with every click, a small amount of money goes to our charity. A very small one, of course, but when that's multiplied by the huge number of clicks all over the world, it becomes a far larger one. We pass this money on to all those who are working to beat the virus, and the internet users decide to whom exactly the money goes. Research projects, social projects, health organizations, educational workers, and so on. .hiv thus becomes a new focal point of the global fight against HIV and AIDS. Just by making a tiny modification to the internet, we're raising global awareness of a global threat. .hiv. It's time to act. Support us with your vote on .hiv.org.
So why HIV? Why TLD? And why using a top-level domain to address this topic? HIV is around now for 30 years. Rich countries are able to treat their infected population. So people really begin to ask themselves, it is still a problem. There are lots of people, they believe it's not a problem anymore. The question is it a problem? And the sad and simple answer, yes it is. In the next 10 years, HIV and AIDS will have killed more people than all of the wars of the 20th century combined. I think this is a strong number. And what is even more important, HIV is the only real pandemic the world has ever met. It affects not only developing countries, it is present everywhere. There's still no cure, treatment is expensive and has massive negative effects. And we think that this global problem needs a global answer, and we see hope in the huge number of internet users. Nowadays there are two major problems in the global fight against this disease. First one is ignorance. Especially the younger generation lacks awareness and knowledge on HIV and AIDS. The number of those who know enough to protect themselves efficiently has shrunken to a frightening degree. It is down to 1/3 worldwide for the age group 15 to 24, and what is even worse, 40% of all new infections on a global scale hit teenagers, and this number is growing. Second is discrimination. Along with the life-threatening infection comes, and that is valid for even the richest countries in the world, a high degree of social exclusion and stigma, and being HIV positive means travel restrictions, problems, and discrimination at work and in healthcare. But what are we meaning exactly? Let me come back to the red ribbon. The physical red ribbon and the digital one have a shared principle. I can buy the woven ribbon for a fixed price. I can buy the woven ribbon for a fixed price, present it to show my engagement, and hope that the money I paid will be given to charity. But the digital red ribbon will work on a larger scale. Companies register their HIV domain, show their engagement and support traceable HIV projects, and can even have a vote who will get the money. Not only global awareness for the topic will be a big advantage. With .HIV we have an unprecedented benefit for all charities, which means we have personal feedback. On every .HIV site for seconds there will be this layer that shows the actual amount of money accumulated so far. And the user will see exactly the effect he made with clicking on the website. He will see, or he or she will see, his own contribution to fight HIV and AIDS. And .HIV benefits more. It's also a springboard for interaction and innovation. The internet users get their own voice with their surf habits, with their likes, and with sharing content they become active. They will post comments, spread the word, and inform themselves and others about the way to fight the virus. And all that already happens today on our Facebook site. Companies with .HIV website get the opportunity to use the domains creatively and benefit from numerous supporters, the internet users who are grouped in social communities. For example, in terms of online marketing, a company could give the money for one AIDS test for every new newsletter subscriber, money that right now is going to online marketing agencies. And of course, we promote such additional programs to communities like Facebook or Google+. And both companies, Facebook and Google, are open-minded to this topic and have indicated their support. This will enable, we believe, a win-win situation. But now let's talk about the most important, or one of the most important questions, how we will spend the money. And at this point, I'm proud to have the honor to present you the man who helped to build Germany's biggest online donation platform. So he has experience in how to spend and raise money. betterplace.org. Please welcome my friend Bernd Kundrun. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. Since Michael has told you how to collect money and collect awareness upon the subject of .HIV, I want to tell you how we could distribute money and involve the people in how to give the money to initiatives that really make sense. Let me first explain a bit about betterplace.org. Betterplace.org is a donation platform established in the German market, by far the largest platform of this kind. We have more than 3,000 projects on our platform. That means there are social projects that in a Facebook style present themselves, their initiatives, what they do, why they need money and how they spend their money. The advantage of that is that small initiatives can make a difference and can explain what they are doing, and the donators can find their individual sense-making initiatives and give them, and in the same way take away informations of how this money is spent. This makes a strong connection between the donator and a project, and this is growing, this initiative growing very fast. This is counterbalancing the field of the big organizations that also in the field of HIV is already in place. There are big organizations that deal with these subjects. But it is necessary in a lot of segments that small organizations do field work, and betterplace.org is a platform that supports them. Obviously, there are projects that get a lot of supporters. This is project number 1. And people vote for that. People give to this project because they explain themselves in a very motivating kind. And other projects that get less support. And even there are projects on our platform that get no support. Spending the money that comes out of the initiative of .hiv is related to our principle that we make our clients vote on who should get the money. But secondly, we will have a board of people who will judge about sensible projects and give the money to them. This is project number 3. That means there is a board of experts that helps to distribute the money to the small organizations in Africa and Asia, wherever HIV is a real problem that can only be solved locally. Sure, there is a social impact. That means we make the people get involved through using .hiv and through distributing the money about the platform of Better Place. We think that we have the opportunity to have this big amount of money because we collect not only money from the companies that use .hiv by donating per click a small amount of money, but by registering for .hiv they will have to spend an initial amount of money. We estimate that this will be around 3 million euro in the first year and then increasing more and more. This is one very important thing, to collect money for these small initiatives involving companies. But secondly, even more important, I think, is the communication impact of what we are planning. .hiv as a top-level domain, and this, let me say, very communicative way to judge and talk about projects. Where should the money go to? This involves really a big part of the users that are interested in this subject, and involves also companies and organizations. And I think there's a big chance in making a difference in communication. Our vision is that .hiv is a top-level domain that is really used by a lot of big companies that want to make a difference, that want to be part of an initiative that is really spreading all over the world. And the difference between a normal giving process is the following. In a normal giving process, a company, for example, in its CSR, corporate social responsibility activities, gives away money, talks a bit about that. In our case, I think we have a different situation, because the company or the person who connects with .hiv gives and takes. Takes what? It takes, I think, a much bigger impact of corporate social responsibility. Imagine that companies that make business in these affected regions, like Africa, for example, like BMW, Mercedes, Coca-Cola, Vodafone, or pharmaceutical companies who are really active in this region, that they connect with .hiv and that they join this movement, they attract a subject that is very important in this region, and that they make a difference, not being only the ones who take money out of Africa, make business there, but help in the most threatening disease, against the most threatening disease in this region. So .hiv will also attract the customers, I think, because it's so easy to make a choice going to a normal top-level domain like .com, or switch to .hiv. Switching to .hiv means doing the same thing, buying books or searching for an information or whatsoever, but at the same point in time doing something good. communicating about a subject that is really important. Michael explained that. How threatening. What large numbers of people who die every year. To do something against that is so easy out of the customer's point of view. And it's a different mind setup. Surfing on the web and having the choice between another top-level domain or .hiv, it's an easy choice. It makes me feel better while surfing, while buying, whatsoever. So I think there is a big chance, if we do a little campaign about that, there's a big chance to attract the customers really to switch to .hiv. The dot makes a difference, and .hiv is what we want to establish into the mind of people, into the normal CSR activities of all those big companies. And I think we have this chance. We have this chance because the setup is unique. We have an agency founded and led by Michael Trautmann, yeah, who is already experienced in this social campaigning. Remember this, some of you may, yeah, the Germans, Du bist Deutschland campaign, you are Germany. This is a campaign that really moved something in the German way of thinking. You remember this subject of German angst. The Germans are famous for being afraid of the future. And this has been the case a couple of years ago, and this was so tough challenge in the German mindset that we jointly established this campaign, You Are Germany and Du bist Deutschland, and this really prepared a bit of a rethinking of our situation. So addressing subjects that are a bit beside the normal commercial working, yeah, is something that Michael is experienced in, and I'm very, very confident that if he reaches this top-level domain, he will have the chance to make a communication process out of that, and jointly with Better Place to make also distribution process for the right way of giving that makes really the difference. So I would like to have Michael again on the floor to explain you in the end how you can support us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's very simple. If you are working for a registrar, you can support us with shelf space. If you are from a company, you can already now pre-register your .hiv domain. And if you are a journalist, spread the word. You really can help us while talking about this issue. And we're still looking for partners and investors, and so I will listen to Dirk later on to learn something about getting more investors. And yeah, we are very happy that United Domains already is helping us with a pre-register process, and we are very sure that if we will get the chance to buy .hiv, we will do something significant different. And for all of the others in this room who are working on this programs, I wish you all the best for the next months. And I know that many of you have years of work. Yeah, good luck for the process, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you.
Dr. Kundrun, and I'll ask you as well,
Yeah.
Dr. Trautmann, are you prepared to answer a few questions if the audience
Sure,
has some?
sure.
I have some, but
Yeah.
I'll look out here first. Hands, please. Yeah. Go ahead. Would you just also tell us who you are? You're about to get a microphone. And then if you'll just say briefly who you are. Go ahead. Try it again. Okay.
Doesn't work.
No. Another one's on the way. Here we go.
Hello. Good morning. I'm Martin, and I work for FutureZone, which is a technology news portal in Austria. I wonder, do you have any organizations working with you, like HIV or AIDS organizations, which are on board? Because obviously that will be, yeah. And what happens if you know, other people will apply for HIV.hiv?
For us, the most important thing is that .hiv will happen. If there are others who apply for this, we will talk to them, and I think we will join efforts, because we don't want to earn any dollar with this. It's nothing meant that we will earn something with it. We will spend all the money we will raise. We will need money to run the company, but every money which is earned will be spent into projects. So if there will be others, we would try to join forces. We talked already to lots of experts in this field, in Africa, in Germany, and this is a process we will have in front of us to even get more into this scene. We are on conferences, we're starting to talk with them, and I have to say honestly that there are some people who don't want to cooperate because they say, well, I have my own project, I don't need this. It's the same what Bernd has learned with Better Place. The big organizations, they all say, we don't need this, but now they are on Better Place because they see that you can reach young people on a much better and more efficient way than wasting money for direct mailings. And we believe that we have strong arguments. As you may notice, the number of people in teenager age who are infected is 40%. So to address this for young people, we believe that this is the right way. And there will be lots of discussion with people from the AIDS environment, but we're on a good way. So one who's in this industry since 15 years is the former Wimbledon winner Michael Stich, who has his own society on AIDS, on .hiv. He's part of our team. He's a member of the supervisory board as well, and he's very well connected. But this is a big issue for the next month to come.
So may I add that?
Oh, please.
May I add that .hiv, like betterplace.org, tends to be a social business. That means it is not against and in competition to existing initiatives. It is, let's say, a tool that helps them to collect money and to create awareness. Yeah? So it is not against the existing structures. It includes them, the big organizations, but as well as important, the small organizations that deal with the subject.
Other questions out there? I'm wondering how you're going about promoting this, because in a way you've got to break through two ignorance barriers. Ignorance about AIDS itself, HIV itself, but also people's lack of awareness about the new domains.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Mm-hmm. The good thing is that if you are dealing with social causes, social issues, you will get media space from big media companies if the campaign idea is good. And that's what we experienced with Du bist Deutschland, or another initiative we did in the last 12 months, which is called Deutschland findet euch, which is the biggest global searching platform for missed children on Facebook, where we reached 120 million contacts without using any cent. And we're experienced in this, and we will in every continent we will partner a big agency which helps us to find the right approach in this area. And we're very hopeful to, as we have good contacts to big media companies, that they will support us. And Google said to us, if we are able to acquire this, we could imagine to put you on the front page of google.com for one day on the World AIDS Day. They did it already in Germany on YouTube, Germany, last year. And I think if we get powerful partners like them, it should be possible to address this issue in a global context. But the first barrier is to convince ICANN. And so we do it step by step.
Another issue that arises for me, I'm one of many lawyers in this room, or at least there were a lot of lawyers around yesterday. I'm not sure about today, but I suspect it's the same. Auditing, oversight, how would such an enterprise be monitored? We know there are, within national legal frameworks, lots of rules about how not-for-profit organizations have to operate. What about in this case?
I mean, Bernd, you went all through this with your organization. Maybe you start. Yeah,
with Better Place, we are dealing with international subjects in 120 countries. That means we are a bit experienced in how to adapt to the regional and to the issues that are legal-wise and social-wise important. So we will not be able to follow that road just standing on our own. But having this top-level domain as Michael said, will help us to begin to establish a network. We will not be able to do this out of Hamburg or out of Munich. Yeah? We will start this initiative here, but then have to include a lot of local organizations in the respective countries, not only in the countries where we want to get the funds to, let's say Africa, Asia, and so on, but as well in the countries where we want to make the people use .hiv. We need to have a network, but he has his network with international media agencies, that means creative agencies. He is well connected in this branch. BetterPlace.org is well connected in the social business network, and I'm not afraid that we would not succeed. If we get this top-level domain, I think it will be fun to establish this network.
And I believe we won't probably start with 120 million domains like .com. We will start probably with less. And the bigger we are getting, the more supervision we need, the more experts we need in a board or whatever. But we have a very conservative business plan for the first 2-3 years. And we have lawyers who give us support. And we have to learn and we have to try out. I mean, there will be hurdles and barriers we don't see now. But as we have no interest in, and this is the difference to .gay or .green or as far as we know, they want to earn money with this and they will spend some money for the gay community or some money for green projects. We don't want to earn money with this, so we are very open to every supervision and monitoring because we are just interested in getting this thing done and nobody wants to earn money with this.
Thank you very much. Any other questions out there before we give a very warm round of applause to both gentlemen for telling us about a fascinating initiative. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you very much.